Hi, we are Group 4. This is our group meeting recording number 2, reflecting on last week's meeting.
And also what we have coming up this week.
So last week we outlined the goals and tasks of hammering out what was involved in our orthographic drawing, finishing our Gantt chart, and our pitch for the honors contract.
So we talked to Professor Sue, and she said that we didn't necessarily need to have a very detailed drawing. So instead of having just myself work on every single one of the drawings over SolidWorks or Fusion, we each drew our own version of the designs that we had already pre-selected. We had 3 different designs that we wanted to do, and we each hand drew one to scale. With the Gantt chart, I edited that to fit the COM requirements. Switched it up a little bit so that it would have a bit more length and a bit more time for us to be able to work on stuff, and then made sure that everything that we had coming up was on track and being able to be done.
So after we met in lab on Friday in our FSE lab, we kind of went through all of that. So we looked over the orthographic drawings and also the project deliverable that we had already finished, and we kind of just checked everybody's work, and we all agreed that we were on the same page. And so after that, we submitted the document on Friday, which put us ahead because it was the submission date was moved to Sunday. So we're kind of keeping on track with our Gantt chart and everything that we plan to stay ahead of schedule for our FSE and COM projects.
Yeah, and so that talks about the orthographic and the Gantt chart. And so for the honors contract, we were able to make our 2-minute pitch video and submit that for Professor Dirk. And so we are good on that. So it wanted us to go over how we stayed on track and what roles and responsibilities we will engage in to continue that. So we have a few laid out.
One thing that we do pretty well is we communicate throughout the week about when we can actually meet in person and go over the roles that we assign to each other, and then also having meetings like this where we follow an agenda and make sure that all of the things that we have talked about are met, and this helps us keep ahead of schedule like we outlined in our Gantt chart. And then like we did with Professor Zhu, meeting ahead of time allows us to reach out with our professors in case we have any questions regarding the assignments that are due in the upcoming week or so.
And then as for those assignments, usually we've already developed a attitude in which we want to finish everything as soon as we can. When we go into lab, we finish whatever is needed in lab, usually within the lab period or if earlier even. We try not to extend something to further days because we know we'll just end up getting busy and then forget about it, procrastinate, and then all of a sudden it's due again. So yeah, just having that ethic of being able to finish everything right as it comes and getting it out of the way is also helping us stay on track and right now stay early.
And so for the next 2 weeks, we have a few more goals that we want to stay focused on. So one of them is to finish the scripts for our video series because we have 2 of them done and we have 3 more to write. And so I've written 2, and so between you 2, how are we going to split that up?
So we have fall break coming up this week, and I don't have a lot to do, so I can tackle 1 or 2 of the scripts, 1 for sure, and if I do have time, I'll work on the next one, and this will help us actually knock out the videos, having a script written.
Yeah, between the both of us, we can each already work on 1 for sure, and then depending on who's busier, we can decide on who's going to be able to work on the other one. I should also be able to have a very majority of the weekend able to be just cranking out stuff, so I'll be able to, at the very least, also do just the 1, and then later on we can decide who can do the last one. And then, of course, we also have to film the video, which is a week after fall break, so we'd have to then decide what date we could all meet up and go over the script, use the storyboard, and then produce the video to be able to submit it.
Yeah, and so our current plan is in line with our whole want to stay ahead of schedule, is we're going to get all of the videos written and recorded at the front end, and so that takes us away a bit from the schedule, the rough draft schedule that was outlined in the contract. What do you call that?
Just in our honors enrichment contract about when each video was due.
So we're gonna kind of speed up. We're gonna miss the deadline for the first one, but the reason for that is we're gonna get all the videos done early. And so that will give us a lot of flexibility, and if we need to go back and change something, we'll have time instead of scrambling at the end of the semester to finish a few videos or remake them.
And And then on a more curriculum note, we over the next 2 weeks we're also going to need to start focusing on the wing design itself. I think this lab on Friday is going to be the wing design, in which we start tweaking with the core, the camber, the span, all these different wing variables to see what sort of lift coefficients and drag coefficients to get out of it. So basically just trying to hammer down what sort of avenue of design we want to take from there.
And then I'm assuming that we'll also have a project deliverable that is assigned on Friday to go along with our wing design, which we'll probably do the following Sunday. So if we stay consistent with what we've been doing in lab by finishing our project deliverable in lab, this will also keep us on track with our Gantt chart, and then also like our attitude that we've adapted with. So
Yeah.
I suppose that we will divide up the roles for the project deliverable in lab, as we haven't yet received the assignment for it.
Yeah, it would be nice if we got those assignments earlier.
But so far we've stayed on track, and I think that the meetings and everything we've done with our Gantt chart has really helped with that.
Yeah.
So until the next update.
Until next time.